and welcome to Brian Brain's National Curriculum. This is the quiz that the entire family can take part in, enjoy, and hopefully learn something from. Okay, here we go. My name is Brian Brain, and if you haven't played before, don't worry, you'll soon get the hang of it. You might even want to create a prize for the winner or the winners if you decide to play as a team. Let's see if you younger budding brains can beat the adults, the boffs. You see, for every budding brain question for you kids, there's a harder boff question for the adults that'll follow. So, doesn't matter what your age is, everybody has an equal chance. The most important thing though is just to have some fun and build that brain power of yours. Because did you know that your brain works like your muscles? The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Today's subject is science for year 5. And we've mixed all the topics up a little bit for you, so that it's not just all about plants or magnets or the weather. It's a mixture of everything you're going to learn in year 5. For each question you get right, award yourselves a point. It's as simple as that. Don't forget to keep score as you go along, so you might want to get a pen and some paper before you start. Here's a bit of getting ready time. Budding brains, your first question. How could you separate a mixture of sand and water without heating the water? Have a little think about that one. How could you separate a mixture of sand and water without heating the water? And the answer is, you could filter the sand. Because the sand is not combined with the water, simply filtering it using a funnel and filter paper will separate the two substances. But you could use a sieve, you could even use a soft towel. The water will drain through and the sand will stay on it. There you go. Boffs, your question. Separation again. How would you separate a mixture of salt and water? Here's your thinking time. How would you separate a mixture of salt and water? And the answer is, your time is up, you would have to evaporate the water, which would leave the salt behind. This is because the salt would have dissolved in the water. Now, did you know that drinking water is needed for humans to avoid dehydration? The amount you need each day depends upon the temperature, how much activity you're involved in, and other factors. But if you get too dehydrated, you will die, I am afraid, so drink plenty of water. Budding brains, how long is one lunar cycle? Here's your thinking time. How long is one lunar cycle? Time's up. The answer is 28 days. The moon takes 28 days to orbit the Earth once. The moon is the Earth's only natural satellite. A natural satellite is a space body that orbits a planet-like object or an asteroid. Boffs, time to get interstar. Why do we only ever see one side of the moon? On you go with this one. Why do we only ever see one side of the moon? And your time is up. It is because the moon rotates at the same rate as it orbits. So the same side of the moon always faces the Earth. Possibly what inspired Pink Floyd's timeless piece of music, The Dark Side of the Moon. And here's something else you probably did not even know or imagine about the moon. Mons Huygens is the tallest mountain on the moon at 4,700 metres tall. That's over half the height of Mount Everest. OK, budding brains. Different subject again. Why do we use levers? Why do we use levers? Off you go with your thinking time. Why do we use levers? Time is up and the answer is to allow us to exert a small force and have a greater effect. I'll repeat that. To allow us to exert a small force and have a greater effect. Classic example of a lever is a seesaw. Boffs, what do we call the point at which the lever acts on? What do we call the point that the lever acts on, like the middle of a seesaw? Time's up. Did you get it? It is a fulcrum. A fulcrum. Budding brains. What do humans start to grow under their arms, around the crotch, and other body parts when they hit puberty? Have a little go at this. What do humans start to grow under their arms, around the crotch, and other body places when they hit puberty in the early teens normally? And I think you probably got that one. The answer is hairs. Hairs. Men grow hair on their faces and backs as well sometimes, whereas most women do not grow hair in these places. Well, on the faces and backs, that is. Now, did you know that usually puberty starts anywhere between the age of 8 and 13 in girls and ages 9 and as late as 15 in boys in some cases? So girls hit puberty before boys. Boffs, what is the name of the cycle that women begin with when they reach puberty? Well, I'm sure you know this one, but what is the name of the cycle that women begin when they reach puberty? And the answer is the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle. And did you know the hormones cause the ovaries to start making another hormone called estrogen? These can often be referred to as the culprits for growing pains for girls. Budding brains. Question number 5. Which of the following would a magnet attract? A stick, an iron nail, a piece of paper, and a different magnet. Thinking time starts now. Which of the following would a magnet attract? a stick, an iron nail, a piece of paper, or a different magnet.